Floridians know the cost of hurricane destruction. Last season, we got lucky. But luck doesn't protect your home. Fortunately, Storm Smart has dependable custom hurricane protection products. Hurricane screens, accordion shutters, aluminum roll-down shutters, flood mitigation systems. Because protected beats lucky every time. Be safe, be smart, be Storm Smart.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Tuesday night edition of DPL, or Dennis Phillips Live. Thanks for joining us. We have got some weather to track. We've got some tropics to talk about, and we are going to talk about the holiday weekend. Before we get going, I hope y'all were watching last night, because if you remember, I sat right here and I'm like, guys, San Antonio Spurs are going to play Oklahoma really tough on Monday night. And if you were watching, you even heard me say, so remember, the Thunder got kind of handled pretty easily all season long by the Spurs. And if you weren't watching, you missed an insanely entertaining game. Double overtime. The Spurs won outright. So you're welcome. Hopefully you were watching. I'm telling you, I don't think Oklahoma's dead. They got a good team. But the Spurs, you're like, this is a weather talk? What's he talking about? I'm just saying, the Spurs, their core players, 20, 21, and 21 years old. They are young. You are looking at a potential dynasty in the NBA with the San Antonio Spurs. All right, nevertheless, I had to throw that out there. We actually got a lot to talk about. We're also in the second and third segments. It's the holiday weekend, so we're going to be talking about boating safety. We're going to be talking about ways to enjoy our beautiful waters in this area. And the folks from the Freedom Boat Club are going to be here. Now, I actually did not set up this interview, but I probably should say right out in the bat, I am a member of the Freedom Boat Club. I have been for several years. And when we talk with Les, who's representing the boat club, we're going to talk about ways to stay safe. But you know what? Might as well talk about the benefits of being in a boat club versus the benefits of owning your own vessel in the Bay Area. Because a lot of folks like to go out, and there's, I think, pros and cons for both. I really do. And I think that's a good discussion that we can have. And I know there's obviously a lot of folks who are interested in boating, especially in the holiday weekend, when I would like to say many times the amateurs go out. I don't say that meaning to be mean. I say that for safety's sake, because when it's a holiday, whether it's the 4th, whether it's Labor Day, whether it's Memorial Day, you get a lot of folks, hey, let's go out and take the boat out. It's a great thing to do. We love doing it, but safety can be an issue, including the rules of the road, if you will. I cannot tell you how many folks I see flying through no-wake zones and things of that nature, and that's something we're going to try to help not happen by having our conversations with Les. So that is going to come up in a couple of minutes. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the rain. Man, it is still coming down. You know what? I was sitting here thinking there was something, I even said this to Les. I'm going to walk, since I'm not on camera right now, I'm going to walk back here. I knew there was something I didn't have with me. I didn't have my phone with your comments on it, because how in the world am I going to be able to answer your comments as I do my sock shuffle back into the back area? How am I going to be able to do my comments with you if I don't know what the heck you're asking me? So now, wait a minute, let me go ahead and refresh, and there we go. Comments are back up. Jill, it is pouring in Largo. So there you go. See, I needed to see that. The Largo bubble has been burst. If you know, you know. if you don't know, everybody who lives in Largo swears there is some sort of a conspiracy, whether it's a weather machine or whether it's somebody keeping rain from Largo, thus the Largo bubble. But according to Gene, that Largo bubble has been broken. And yet, Jameson, not a drop of rain in my area. And that is it. That is Florida to a T. Some folks are going to get 3 to 4 inches of rain. Some folks are going to get 3 to 4 drops of rain. Try forecasting that nonsense. Well, honestly, today, we knew it would be more along the coast. Tomorrow, I think it's more inland. I think folks in eastern Hillsborough County, I think Plant City, I think Lakeland, I think Bartow, you are going to have your chance tomorrow as opposed to today, which has just been some really significant steady rains. I mean, check it out. We're going to zoom in right here. So Pinellas County, jackpot for you. But not just Pinellas, because look at southwestern Pasco. Newport Richey, back to Odessa, over toward Keystone, back toward Landsbrook. Eastlake Woodlands, winding down a little bit. But then you go into areas from Temple Terrace, Carrollwood, Northdale, Lutz, all of this, West Chase. Got a lot of viewers from West Chase. Matter of fact, I met some of them in Innisbrook on Sunday. They had like a mom's weekend away, and they were all from West Chase. So here, let's go ahead and make the last hour. See how we're shaping up in the last hour. It's not moving too much, right? Now look at that. Look at the boundary from Thonotosassa west. That is just not moving. So this is some great news if you happen to live in this area, because check out the rainfall totals just in the last 3 hours. 3 hours, right? Look at this area right around Trinity. I'm guessing that's about 4 inches of rain. That's 4.1. See, it's magic. 4.1 inches of rain. So some serious rain in the last 3 hours. Odessa. So by your pool, yes, poolside, you know who you are. 2.3 inches in the last 3 hours. Right around Innisbrook, 1 to 2 inches. My neck of the woods, Tarpon Springs, ½ an inch. And then you go to other areas, not so much. But all of this area, solid rainfall totals and extending down to thus Largo bubble that we were talking about. Largo, 2 inches of rain. This is just the last 3 hours, no less, right? So all of this blue is just a solid area of 2 inches of rain and some even more than that. So the moral of this story is if you've made good life choices, you're getting rain. If you haven't, nothing. So inland areas have been very dry. And even in Sarasota, I mean, look at Sarasota. This is, again, in the last 3 hours, 2 inches of rain. So this is not, I'll say it again, this is not said rainy season, but who cares? Because the rain is the rain. And while there is an upper level low east of us, and there's moisture being fed in, yes, that is one of the main reasons. But man, I'm not complaining, are you? So there we go. Inverness, no rain. Yep, Janine, you are correct. Plant City feels very unloved, so says Amy. Amy, watch what happens tomorrow. I'm going to jump right ahead to Futurecast because we actually have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we don't care about the currents because we know what the currents are. All right, here is a look at Futurecast. Now, before I show you this, let me explain what we got going, all right? So, when the sea breeze, the Gulf breeze, is pinned up right along the coast where that interaction occurs, right? Boom, right along that boundary, that's where you get the storms that flare up. Today, it was Pinellas County. It was western Pasco. It was western Hillsborough. Here's a look at Futurecast. So we go through tomorrow. The rains linger into the overnight hours. They wind down by 10 or 11. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up sunny. By the way, right through the holiday weekend, you have sunshine in the morning. So if you're going to the beach, if you're taking the boat out, if you're going golfing, going to barbecue, whatever you got planned, you're good to go until 2 o'clock. So that's not going to be an issue. You get a westerly wind in our neck of the woods. Once that water hits about 85, 86, then you start worrying about morning rain along the coast and water spouts. That is not the pattern through this weekend. We are dry in the morning. However, remember I talked about that boundary, that sea breeze, that Gulf breeze along the coast. Well, tomorrow, it's going to make it about 30 miles more inland. And if that happens, and I believe it will, look what happens to where the rain stacks up. Check it out. So this is 3:30, 4 o'clock. Look at where the line is late afternoon, early evening. It is more inland because that's where that sea breeze boundary will set up. So less moisture, coverage only maybe 20, 25%, but folks who feel unloved, Plant City, Bartow, not Inverness. Inverness, not some, well, maybe, but more inland area. Who else? So Wanda, yeah, nice to see you. So Wednesday and Thursday, Ethan, this is what we're showing you. This is Wednesday and Thursday. Inland areas, coverage east of I-75. There might still be a few back toward our neck of the woods along the coast, but inland areas, you are going to get your rain as well. And then starting on Thursday, it's going to be more isolated and more haphazard. So coverage will be down to 10 to 20% on Thursday and Friday. But by the weekend, so there's your temperatures, right? Staying in the low 90s, but look at the rain coverage. Starting on Saturday and even Sunday into Memorial Day, we're going to have better coverage. So instead of 10 to 20%, we're going to be 30, 40%. Now, if we go ahead and look at the 7-day, which, poof, there it is. Highs in the low 90s, but look at the rain chances. I'm going to go ahead and take this full. Look at the rain chances by Sunday into Monday, back up to 30, 40, even 50%. Irene is correct. A heavy downpour right now in Carrollwood. You'll take it in Bartow tomorrow, Dave. I think you will. Denise says Odessa is getting drenched right now. Denise, are you poolside? Because you typically are. Cruz Mike, how are you doing, my friend? Cruz Mike from North Carolina is in the house. So that's kind of what we have going here right now. All right, now I'm going to show you quickly a look at the models. And the reason I show you this is because some of the models are hinting a little something, something down there in the Atlantic. And they've been hinting at this for a little while. This is the end of May. But while I'm not concerned about any tropical development, I'm about to teach you some weather terminology. Are you ready? You will be quizzed at the end of this. Weather terminology, a tut low. It is a tropical upper tropospheric trough. All right? I didn't just make that up, I promise. It's an upper level low. It's fancy talk for an upper level low in the tropics, right? That is one of the main reasons why we are seeing our rainfall. Because if you look off to the east of Florida, you see high pressure setting up, right? And it's there, and it's giving us that southeast wind, which is what we want. But the Euro shows the same thing. Look how unsettled the entire southeast is. Now, that is an interesting conversation. That is a very interesting conversation. Look at the Euro. Literally, look at the Euro every day. Guys, this is not rainy season rains. You can make the argument this could be early El Nino impacts. You can make that argument because remember, when you have an El Nino, and this is next weekend, when you have an El Nino, the subtropical jet is very active, and that subtropical jet leads to significantly increased rain across the southeast. So it's something to think about. Back in 90 seconds, we're going to be talking holiday weekend forecast. We're going to be talking boating with our friends at the Freedom Boat Club. That comes up in 90 seconds as DPL continues. We're on a break. We will bring your chair over. All right, everybody, this is Les. Les, this is everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so I will hold on to the chair so it doesn't fly on you.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. And you are going to be right about there. Your camera 2 is your close-up camera.
Okay.
Camera 1 is the 2-shot, and we have the video that you sent, which I don't know what this is. Do you know what this is?
Yeah, it's a National Boater Safety Week video. We actually just did a segment. We actually just did a segment with you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Who did it? One of our reporters?
Yeah, one of your reporters.
Wow. Okay. Well, I did not. What? Blake Phillips, my son. Not really, but everybody thinks that. All right, we are back in 45 seconds. Everybody. Someone getting my Dennis Phillips T-shirt ordered for your cruise, as you should, Mike. Vicky, how you doing? Good to see you. So Les is with the Freedom Boat Club. We will discuss that coming up out of the break. And I did not know that's why you're here. The boating. I know Jocelyn, my producer / handler, as y'all know, texted me today, and I think she even mentioned it's National Boating Safety Week. Is that right?
It is.
Well, there you go. That's perfect.
Yep.
That is a perfect segue. All right, we are back in 14 seconds. And Kathy's like, hello, Les. How's it going?
Hello,
It's raining
Kathy.
in Ruskin, Heather. All right.
It's not raining in Fishhawk. I just came from there.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah. It's dry.
All right, back in 3, 2. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live, introducing Les Aries from the Freedom Boat Club. And Les just informed me, I wasn't really sure how you got here, other than Jocelyn, my producer / handler, says, I got an interview for you. And I'm like, yes. But this is a big week. This is National Boating Safety Week, right?
Absolutely. Big week for us. Big week for awareness. And that's the key, is that we want to make everybody aware about how to be safe out on the water. And so this week, just like you do your hurricane prep, we do boating prep. It's everything about how do you get back on the water and be safe.
Well, we've got a little video here that I'm going to show, and we'll talk a little bit about the Freedom Boat Club as well, coming up on that in a minute. But so that's my style right there. We were just talking about that. Yep. I'm a big pontoon boat fan. I got a lot of kids. I do not recommend going that fast necessarily. My guess is that's high speed. But there is the pontoon boat, and we were talking about this coming up a couple minutes ago. When you have a holiday weekend, you get a lot of people, let's just say inexperienced boaters out there. So what are your suggestions to the folks who are maybe thinking about going out and renting a boat? Or if you're not doing that, you know, how do you stay safe through this season when clearly this weekend is going to have a lot of people out there?
Yeah, this weekend is one of the busiest times for boating. And the best thing you could do, just like you're seeing there, Katie, our captain, is first and foremost life jackets, life jackets, life jackets.
Okay.
Make sure they fit, make sure they're comfortable, and make sure you have one for your friends, family, and everybody on the vessel. And also make sure that they fit those folks on the vessel. So safety equipment is paramount, and it starts with life jackets.
Now we're gonna have some conversations about what I have witnessed as well. So again, as I said, I had a boat that I kept in tarpon in a high and dry for, gosh, over 10 years. I didn't really use it a lot, so I decided maybe the next opportunity would be the Freedom Boat Club. There's other boat clubs around. Freedom is the one that I chose. Tell the folks a little bit about what it is and how it works, because, you know, it certainly might interest some folks who maybe don't have the time or the money to put into a boat, but still wants to be out on the water.
Yeah, absolutely. So really what it is, it's a club, and we call it a club because we have over 9,000 members. Glad I'm sitting next to one right here from Tampa Bay, that boat in over 32 locations, over 700 boats in those 32 locations that we have. You join the club, you have access to every one of those boats, right? And so
also nationally too.
Also nationally. So you have unlimited here in Tampa, and you have reciprocal privileges not only all over the nation, but Spain, Australia, England, all over the world now. And so it's a really beneficial club. But the best part, unlimited training. So if you've never boated, you're scared about boating, you're a little apprehensive about getting behind the helm, we have over 28 captains ready to teach you, be patient, and spend time with you on the water, and make sure not only you, but also your members, so your wife, if she wants to join, or brother and sister want to boat with you, we'll also teach them how to get on the water.
And it's pretty extensive because I've had to go through it. You have the classes that you have to take, as well as the on-the-water training with the captains as well. So, yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they want you to be prepared out there. We will talk, and I get this from time to time because I've mentioned that I've been in the boat club, and I think it's a good conversation to have. What are the benefits, which we just said the benefits, and the people who have claimed that there are drawbacks at times to a boat club. And look, everything has some plus and minus, right? What I have found with boat clubs is if you really want a boat, and you have a date that you have in mind, my suggestion is sometimes 4 or 5 weeks in advance, you go on the website, you book that boat because you're going to get it. But I will say that I have never had a time, if even on a morning that I want a boat, what you do is you call the dock that morning, and you're like, hey, what do you have available? Because inevitably people will cancel.
That's right. That's right.
So you may not get the boat that you wanted. Like I prefer pontoons with my massive family that I have. So you might not get the boat that you want, but odds are really high you're going to get a boat of some sort if you call the day of, as opposed to making the reservation in advance. That's my experience with it, at least.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we have 32 locations. At any of those locations, there's always boats available. And the way to think about it is we're a lot like golf courses, hotels, restaurants. We get busy on the weekends, but during the week, you could really take out any boat you want. There's a lot of availability. So if you have access to the weekdays, phenomenal. But even if you don't, and you want to go boating Saturday or Sunday with us, we will find you a boat. Like you said, call the dock. There's always cancellations. There's always people that move their reservations. And what's great now is that we have an app. Everybody has an app, but we have a wonderful app. It shows you what boats are available, what boat you want to book. So if you want to book a particular boat with a particular color, and it gives you access to the dock. So it says, do you want to call the dock and find out if there's any other boats available?
And I usually go out of Tarpon, but I've gone out of Newport Richey. I've gone out of Clearwater because there wasn't anything available. So my point is, again, there's pros and cons. If you can afford a boat and you can afford everything that goes along, I mean, I think a lot of folks are going to say, I'd love to have my own boat. A lot of people cannot afford that. Correct. It's a very pricey hobby. And so, maybe a boat club is better for you. Certainly a possibility. It was for me and my family, and I had a boat as well. But I will say it again, if you really have your heart set on a certain type of boat, 4 weeks is probably a pretty good. If you're looking for a weekend, if you're looking for a weekday, it's wide open most of the time.
That's right.
But for a weekend, especially a holiday weekend, you know what? I rented one for Gasparilla.
There you go. Busiest time of year for us.
You know what? I rented it 6 months out because you could do it on the website six months in advance. So literally, the midnight hour, exactly 6 months before the invasion, I went on and I got myself a boat. So you can do it if you're willing to do it the way you got to do it.
That's right. And even if you miss that time frame and you say, I really want to get in the water, we'll do everything we can to find you a boat.
Yep.
You may have to travel a little bit, but we have not only here in Tampa Bay, but all the way down to Naples, access to boats. Yeah. So it's a great club. And hey, we hope you graduate and buy a boat one day. If you feel comfortable enough and you say, I want my own boat, we love that. We love having boaters have their own boat on the water. So we really like them all. People that sell their boats and come join us, we want to make sure that we have access to water. Access to water is really important to us. So not only giving access to people that can only afford boats, but also access to anybody who wants to get on the water. And we have plans for everybody. That's what I say. It's like, if you only want to use weekdays, that's the most affordable plan. Go ahead and call us. We'll find a plan for you that's economical.
Got to hit a break. I'm so heavy. Back in 90 seconds as DPL continues. We went 12 minutes on that, and we're fine, but holy cow, I'm heavy. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come back out literally for, back at 52. I'm back at 52:15. I can go a minute 30. So what we'll do is we'll finish with last, okay, here. David wants to know, GPS locator on a boat. What is that? No, what was that? What are the thoughts of having GPS locators on the boat? I'm not really sure what that means, David.
Yeah, we have GPSs now on the boat. Yeah, we did it before, so he's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. And this is, Charlotte says and you know the expression, the best days of owning a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
That's right.
I mean, that is what people say. I mean, and I get it. And I've also heard people say it's a big pool of water that the money just goes. There's truth to all of that. Yeah. It's just, but if it's a hobby that you love, then you make the sacrifice and you find a way to make it happen. I mean, you just do. All right, we have 25 seconds left. We're going to finish on, because I want to finish with weather at the last segment, because we still have hit another break, so we have literally 90 seconds. What do you want to cover in the last 90 seconds, if we had 90 seconds to cover?
Let's cover a little bit about safety, because I think it's really important for everybody to understand the safety. Yeah. All
right, perfect. We are back in, that was a long segment. Didn't feel long.
That didn't feel long,
all right, no. 3, 2. All right, this is going to be a quick segment. Let's talk boating safety for the holiday weekend. Less suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. So boating safety 101, we talked about life jackets. But also we all get rusty if we haven't taken out a boat all winter. So if you're rusty, make sure you spend some time going through that vessel, but also ensuring that you understand everything and how it functions, the vessel. So we just had a question about GPS, right? Does your boat have GPS? Well, GPS now on boats are much like a computer or smartphone. So ensure that you learn that GPS, but also you didn't forget all the features. So where you are, the depth, right? Situational awareness, those are really important. Third, you want to make sure your VHF is working. That's your communication. A lot of people think just because I have a cell phone, I'm safe. And as we know, you go out in the water and that signal's not the same. Yep. So your VHF is really your lifeline of communication to others. So life jacket, make sure you know your boat, make sure you're accustomed to running your boat, and if you're a little rusty, take that out for a spin before you put everybody else on there. And finally, make sure that VHF is functioning.
And I will add one more thing. Check the radar and the forecast before you go out, because unfortunately, it happens. Storms can pop up out of nowhere, and if you're out in the water, it can be a terrifying and a life-threatening experience if you don't know how to handle one of our afternoon thunderstorms, which can go 50, 60 miles an hour. It can happen. So check the radar. If there's going to be anything offshore, I talk about it a lot on social as well. That is really, really important to know as well.
Absolutely. You touched on a great point, which is a float plan. A float plan is a way you communicate to others, loved ones, where you're going to be. Are you going to be fishing? Are you going to be in the bay? Are you going to be in the sandbar? That way, if there's an emergency and you aren't back home, they know where you are.
Yep.
So that float plan is essential. Make sure you have a float plan with somebody before you leave the house.
Thank you so much for coming out. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Guys, we'll be back with one final check on radar as Dennis Phillips Live continues. Break. Perfect. All right, you can hang if you want.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop with radar. Boy, that's the thing about when we start talking, it just flies. The time just absolutely
that was quick.
flies.
It felt like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was. we were on 14 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take one last look at radar. In fact, I'm gonna come out on the radar actually, and then we can finish up the show on that. All right. So Janet is getting a lot of rain here, but where would there be, Janet? Carrollwood, 4 inches of rain so far. All right. Thank you, Adam. I will show the rainfall totals live. That's a good idea. We're back in 45 seconds. 1.8 in Lake Magdalene so far. If you own a boat and join this, do you loan your boat to other members? No. So you don't own this boat. You're part of a club. They own the boat. We just use the boats. On certain, depending on your plan, there's some days you get you get one day, sometimes you get other days, a Saturday or a Sunday. Usually you don't get both. Usually, unless you're going to pay more. Frisco, Texas, in the house. Dave, how you doing? All right, B-Dubs, good to see you. All right, so we are going to come out with radar, and we are back in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, one last look at radar. Boy, we are getting some serious storm reports from people with rainfall totals. And there's that heavy rain continuing. I heard some thunder outside. We could hear it when we were talking. Carrollwood, Temple Terrace, right on over to Ray J. And that rain over the last 30 minutes has not moved much. Check it out. I'm going to go ahead and loop this. This is the last 30 minutes. I mean, that's not moving. It's going to have to rain itself out. So when we say that, look at our rainfall totals. One more look over the last 3 hours. That area of 4 inches of rain has expanded. And now from just west of Denise's pool, Trinity over toward Starkey Ranch, back toward Elfers. I mean, all of this area has had around 4 inches of rain, all right? And then areas in the light blue, that is 2 to 3 inches of rain. Dark blue is 1 to 2 inches of rain, and this extends back to Carrollwood, where David just said at his house he's had close to 4 inches of rain. And again, this is just the last 3 hours. So this, and yet I know if you live right there, I mean, if you live anywhere in those inland areas, unfortunately, you've got a frowny face because it's just, there's just no rain going. But tomorrow, I think there will be. I'll show you one more time with Futurecast. I do think we're going to see more inland development tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening and less along the coast. So that's kind of the way I see it right now. Again, Les, thank you very much for
Pleasure
coming
to be
in.
here.
Appreciate it. Everybody have a very safe holiday weekend. It's only Tuesday, so we've got 3 more days. Tomorrow night, we'll be back with Dennis Phillips Live. Again, the rain continues for another couple of hours in those inland areas of Hillsborough County, winding down in Pinellas County. Folks, if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, The Spot, thank you so much. Have a great night, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. You guys have a great night. We are out on TV, and guys, I am going to watch the Knicks and the Cavaliers game. So I think we covered it. We got radar covered. We got Futurecast covered. I'll show you the 7-day one more time. I still hear some thunder out there, actually.
Oh, yeah.
could hear it during the show. This is not advancing. So here's a 7-day right here.
I saw rain in Riverview. That's good to hear. Yeah.
So a buddy of mine lives in your neck of the woods. He's the golf pro over at East Lake Woodlands.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll always send me the rain gauge. Last summer, you guys had some 5, 6, 7-inch rainfall totals, but not so much
no, we're
so
a little
far
dry
this year.
Yeah, River Hills, Buckhorn, we're feeling it. No rain.
Lion Baugh and Dale Mabry's flooded out, as Mary said. Thank you for the update, Mary. And there's the 7-day. So definitely looking at afternoon activity right on through early next week. It will not be in the morning. And I think the forecast is looking really, really good for the holiday weekend, with the exception, again, of anything after 4 or 5 o'clock. So again, you guys have a great night, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See ya.